Oh, hi there. 2 years to the date, according to YouTube, if they haven't fiddled with the numbers, I made a video explaining why I don't hand out candy at Halloween. And the main point I wanted to make while I made that video was that there is no women around my house. And it shouldn't be awkward. However, it is. It simply is. Uh, One person actually that year did knock on my door, or was about to actually, as I was coming back from a beer run, to ask about Halloween candy. I simply said, go to the grocery store and purchase it for 50% off tomorrow morning. And that's what I will continue to suggest because of various reasons. My house is predominantly male. My mother, she visits every few weeks, and that's for the most part that's all it is. And in today's society, like I said, it shouldn't be awkward, but it is. And there's other factors involved as well. I mean, I have to look at myself as a person. There's nothing wrong with me. However, there are people whom have different opinions about me, and they're not accurate in what they've depicted me as a person. I feel like I've become a statistic to these people, and it doesn't matter what names they call me because at this point in time, they've called me so many names without proof that they look like a bunch of cunts. And I've already explained what I meant by that word in previous videos. It basically means someone who's an asshole, unpleasant, or all those kinds of things. How the British would say cunt. It's not a sexual thing at all. Anyway. This isn't exactly a very easy video for me to make because in earlier videos I described how I was an involuntary celibate. And this, again, has nothing to do with handing out chocolates to adolescents dressed up in Halloween costumes. It doesn't have a thing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that there are women in positions of authority who would rather I stayed on the shelf as opposed to living a normal life and having friends and things like that. They don't want that because then that would potentially put their eligibility of going with me at risk, and they don't want that. So it's purely selfish reasoning on their part, and they will call me any name they want to. And a lot of people, as soon as they hear someone's been called a certain name, and I'm talking about adults here, they run hog wild with that idea, and it's like it becomes the truth, and there isn't any evidence to back it up. And this is, it's all part of why nobody ever, I mean, on any day, comes around my house. I have friends from work. I have, relatives and things like that. And it's like they don't ever make an appearance around here. And I wonder why that is. There's no direct reason that I can see. There's obviously a crowd of people surrounding my social media and therefore, mysterious figures in society who have made judgments about me. And at this point in time, I think they've proven themselves wrong. And it's like now it's like an awkward time where it's like, well, they got to apologize, but they're not going to want to do that because then that would admit they did something wrong. And the thing about an asshole is usually they don't like to apologize and admit they're wrong because then they've admitted they're wrong and all the punishments that go with that. I mean, myself, however, I actually will apologize if any situation isn't deserving of that. There isn't, though, so I don't feel the need to apologize. I actually made a video where I apologized to Phil Collins because I used the wrong picture in a segment I used to do called Laying Claim to Fame. I could continue doing that subject if I want to, But the thing is, I don't have to. And, the fans of my Lane Claim to Fame, the last one I did was of Kenny Shields when he had passed on. We're not the best of fans anyway. They're a bunch of assholes. So they don't deserve anything. And yeah, I mean, I look at myself and I go, well, why don't I have a normal social life? And some people go, oh, it's because you're a creep or you're ugly or you don't have a job, even though I do have a job. I have two jobs, as a matter of fact, YouTube and another one in the real world, and all those kinds of things. And it's like, hold on a second, I'm actually not bad looking. I have cool stuff. I have interests that a lot of other people have as well, like collecting jerseys and making YouTube videos and things like that. I do have a job. Those are all things. I'm actually, 32 years of age, and I've hardly even kissed a chick, let alone anything else. So, I mean, at 32 years of age, you can't expect a woman in a comparable situation or age to have not actively been sexually active. You can't expect that. And I can put up with that. Because as I said in previous videos as well, I'm looking for the 25 to 28 years of age range where, obviously they have all their mental faculties to them. However, I'm, still smarter than them. I feel like I'm smarter than a lot of people anyway. I can outsmart people who are older than me like it was nothing. Anyway, this is all is indicative to this manufactured artificial scenario I call my social life, and it's completely done by Canadians. Low down, dirty, disgusting fucking Canadians. And it's like everyone goes, "Oh, I'm proud to be Canadian" and all this, and they go, "Oh, Canada is the best country in the world," and it's like, no, you dumb motherfucker, it isn't the best country in the world. It's not ran properly. The wrong sort of people are in power, and they'll do fucking anything. And it's like, how is their bullshit? What does that got to do with me? And in light of that, I'm saying it's not awkward for an adult male who's respected amongst the community to hand out chocolates to adolescents dressed up in Halloween costumes on Halloween. It isn't. The only thing I can offer is advice, which would be you go to your grocery store and you purchase it 50% off on November the 1st. That's what I would recommend. Um, yeah, the thing is, like, all that sort of stuff I talked about, it's all connected to why there isn't a woman around here. I mean, if there were a woman around here, it wouldn't be awkward at all. I mean, I wouldn't be the one answering the door, obviously, but, like, obviously, something is messed up with this whole scenario, and I don't think it's me. Don't think it's me. I mean, I could point out other reasons why. I mean, going back to the Lane Claim to Fame, I mean, I'm a guy who lives in a small town. I wear hockey jerseys most every time, but not all the time when it's too hot or whatever. I have a YouTube channel. I have 530 videos where I talk about, a lot of cool stuff and, some bummer stuff, but, mostly good stuff. And most of my videos were not badly made. The Lane Claim to Fame segment is, my dad breathed alcoholic breath on Elton John. That actually is a thing. I have a picture of that, a hard copy picture of that, as well as a digital print somewhere. And, I look at myself, I'm not a bad looking guy. I've got aspirations and dreams beyond my own home. And it's like something is messing things up. And you know what I think it might be? Sycophants. I think I might have sycophants who follow my YouTube channel, and I think they may be what the problem is. And yet somehow I'm the one to blame for being a creep. It's like, excuse me, if you don't mind, I didn't approve of, any other people being creepy around me. So why am I the one being labeled as creepy when it's other people who are doing creepy things? Why the fuck is that? And if anyone, and I've said this a few times, if you have a fucking question, simply ask, all right? I can give you an honest answer because there isn't anything to tell. And you know, you know, yeah, the important thing is to try and not overthink things, because if you don't know for 100% certainty, even if it is true, there will always be some cunt out there going, it's a paranoid delusion, or delusions of grandeur, or whatever. And they'll use that as an excuse to label you as whatever they want to support their own opinion, even if they're totally wrong. And that's usually the fault of bureaucrats, because bureaucrats are the type of people who don't like to admit they're wrong. Canadians don't like to admit when they're wrong. And when it gets to the point where they have to admit they're wrong, they'll look you, like straight in the face and lie to you right in your face. And they could be completely wrong, and it doesn't matter to them, because the important thing is a hideous government organization can never look like a hideous government organization. Although you flip a few pages back in the big giant book of bullshit that they give, and you will see where they are quite hideous and ugly and stupid. And it's not that long ago, 15 years ago, really, and you would have seen sadistic bureaucrats and things like that running around doing things for crazy reasons. Hell, you see crazy people running around doing things, and they have authority today. And it's a sad, sad thing that society is like this, that we can't actually trust anybody. Um, However, my recommendation is for anyone who wishes to ascertain a lot of candy, chocolates, you go to the grocery store and buy them at 50% off. That is what I would recommend. Um, Anyway, it is 11:38, and I'd like to upload this video technically before the end of October the 17th, so that it was 2 years, assuming the numbers weren't fiddled. Because I seem to remember it being 3 years ago, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Talk to you people later. Have a good one. And no, I will not be giving out Halloween candy this year. Definitely not until there's a woman who's on the scene as well. It only makes sense. Anyway, yeah, later.